Number 2 on our confidence ladder is experience. And so I'm going to jump right in and just mention that when you're going through new experiences, this is just so good for your confidence long term, because the more that you experience, the better off you're going to be with exposing yourself to all scenarios. And what do I mean exactly by this? Well, let's think about for a baseball or softball player. When you're able to experience faster pitching, maybe pitching that you've never seen before, maybe you get called up for a game to play with older players, which is a new experience and opportunity for you. Don't turn these opportunities down, because the more that you experience, you now have a taste, you now have a sample of what it is you're trying to do to get better, and now you have feedback every time you go through a new experience. And it's so important. And so keep this in mind when you're going through experiences, whether it's good or bad, you're always getting back feedback. And that is one of the crucial points here I want to make in this video. You're always getting feedback throughout your experience. And so a lot of us think that our experiences that were failures are all negative. Well, it couldn't be further from the truth, because you're getting back the right answers now to the question. I like to think about this. Here's a really good example. If you were to show up in school and your teacher gave you a pre-test and you weren't prepared for it or anything, they give you a pre-test. Let's say there's 20 questions on that test. Let's say you only get 10 of the 20 correct. You get the test back from your teacher and you see the ones that you got right, which would be for you something that you can do again that's repeatable. And then you see the ones you got wrong, which is the feedback, and it gives you the correct answer. And so now you know what the answer is for the next time you take that test. So if you were to take this same test again, after getting all the answers back, you should be able to get a 20 out of 20 if you've learned from the ones you got wrong. And this simple story, this simple philosophy about a pretest is exactly what we need to apply to our game and apply to our real life situations. So in a game, think about this. You go up to bat, you strike out on a couple fastballs that were really good pitches by the pitcher. You hadn't faced it before. You now understand you're late. You now understand you need to go a little sooner and get your bat through the zone a little quicker. And you now have more feedback to figuring out the right answers for your second at bat. It's experience. Every single thing you're going through, it's giving you more information. So you're becoming smarter. You're becoming more wise for the future. You've now acquired more knowledge, which will turn into more skill. Because again, you're getting crucial information here. We all have different stages in life, and throughout our life, we're constantly having to encounter new experiences. We don't have a choice. I go from 4th grade to 5th grade to 6th grade. Each grade is new. It's a new experience. I'm not familiar with it, but it's something I have to do. I go from being a high school player to now graduating high school and having to go to college. It's a new experience. I have new experiences now with how to live life on my own, how to handle school and be fully responsible for it, how to be an athlete at the college level. Not only how to be an athlete, but now how do I succeed against some of the best athletes around me? I was a big fish in a small pond in high school, but now I'm one of the same. Everybody here is really good. And I got a lot more responsibilities, a lot more things to do. When you can look back on your experiences and understand that, I've been there, I've done that, I've been in all these different situations, you are molding a character in yourself to where now you are going to be more prepared for so many more things, and you're becoming a way more well-rounded individual. This stuff is very valuable, and it all relates. And so how does this relate to confidence? Well, I step into the box, and I've seen a pitcher already before. I've faced them a few times, or I've faced a pitcher similar. I have that experience. And so now I know what to expect. And it's the fear of the unknown that's really what gets us most of the time. And so when you can experience more things, you don't have as much of a fear of the unknown because you've already gone through it. And so that's huge for you. And so how do you apply this? What should you be doing on a daily basis or even just throughout your journey? Welcome new experiences. If you get asked to do something, you get asked to play in a game, or you get an opportunity to do something new, do it. Do it, and do not be worried about the result. Do not be so worried about if you fail or if you succeed. And most of the time, you're going to fail if it's a new experience. That's just the norm. But the people who reach the top, they have gone through the most experiences. And they've also gone through the most failure. And so what does that mean? Does that mean they're a failure? That's what most of you think. And it's not the case. What it really means is they've got the most feedback in return from all the experiences they've gone through. They've got the most information stored up here. And so now they're more prepared when they go into a new experience. And as I said earlier, they're becoming wiser and more knowledgeable each time. And so internally, regardless of the result, they're building up, they're building up, they're building up, and they're acquiring all of these things. I'm telling you, the more you experience, the more you acquire. And one of the hardest things to do is to realize in the heat of the moment, right, in the middle of going through something, what it's going to mean for you in the future. And so I challenge everybody right now, take a second, pause this video even right now, and think about some experiences that you've gone through over the last month, over the last year. Think about how they can help you in the future. Take note of the feedback you've received. Make real notes of this. Get a notebook that's important to you and save it in a place. Make notes, put pen on paper, and actually store up these valuable lessons that you've learned. Put them in your phone. I do this all the time, still to this day. Think about how this can serve you for your future to get to your end goal. And it takes courage. It's not easy to go through all these different experiences. And again, when you're failing in a lot of new experiences, it takes a lot of mental toughness to go through that. But I will say this, after doing it once and then doing it twice and doing it 3 times and so on, it becomes easier and easier to do each time. And so take that first step, take that first initiative, and I promise you are going to be on the right track and you're going to start rolling and building up some momentum from there. It is not always the most skilled or the most talented individual that wins. More times than not, it's usually the one with the most experience. One last final thing. Think about a person like Tom Brady, who's been to 10 Super Bowls and he's won 7 of them. I'm sure his first couple Super Bowls, he was nervous. But do you think after he had gone through a couple of them, and he's in Super Bowl 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, think about how much value he has with experience in the big games, where he's facing other players and quarterbacks that hadn't even been to a Super Bowl or only been to one at most. And so think about how that can relate to the confidence. And again, this is the confidence section, but this experience that you go through is absolutely related to building up that confidence.